host, Jay, the Basement King Grundberg. Join us as the King talks electrical contracting, electrical business management, as well as electrical installations, and so much more. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy Kicking It with the King. Oh, yeah.
What up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Kicking It with the King. I am your host, Jay, the Basement King Grundberg, and I just want to say thank you all for joining in on today's episode and all the other episodes that I've put out. And if you haven't listened to those episodes, make sure you go back and listen to them. Again, I'm just trying to teach you guys a little bit about the electrical contracting industry. So many more topics I'm going to cover, but on today's topic, we're going to talk about starting up a business. What it takes to start up a business, the mindset you have to have, the things you got to go through, and everything like that. But before we get started, thank you again for the support and the love. Big shout out to Mr. Paul Abernathy for just helping me get this thing going. And, thank you for you guys for all the positivity and the great feedback. So let's jump into starting a business. And if it's in the electrical industry, let me tell you, just let me ease off a little bit of the stress on starting a business, right? You don't have to go work for yourself full time. Heck, you don't have to work for yourself at all to start a business. Let me say that again. You don't have to have a single job on the schedule to start a business. Amen to that. Because if I'm in retail, or if I'm opening up a restaurant, whatever it is, that from day one you need to have income coming in, or you're riding on maybe your savings. For electrical contract, you do not need that. You can open up a business while you're working for someone else. You can open up a business while you're out doing an electrical inspector job, whatever it is. But to open up a business, because there's always that but, you got to make sure that you read all your state requirements of what it takes to open up that business. Whether that requirement is to have a certain license. You have to make sure that that license is valid. It's up to date. It's current. Not, hey, I had the license 5 years ago, but it expired. No. You have to have a current license for, to meet the state's requirement. Maybe that is one of the requirements. You have to have the proper insurance. So now you have to make sure that you're reading what the state requires you to have. And these are just brief things that I know that I have to provide to the state of Colorado. Your state might require a little more, it might require a little less. I don't know. But what I do know is you can go online and find out what those requirements are. So you got to meet all the criterias of your state. The licenses, the insurance, the name, right? You can't just be, no name electric. Well, you might be if they allow you to have that, But you got to think, maybe you're, hey, I want my name to be wired up. But maybe someone has that name. That name's already claimed. So have a few names if when you decide to go open up your business. Have a few different names in mind. And then you got to go to the state and submit it. Right? So now you're investing in what it took to get those licenses, what it takes to have that insurance, and any of the other requirements that you have to provide to the state. Okay, so you provide all this information, and you say, "Hey, man, I'm scared. I'm nervous. I don't want to go out on my own and do my own thing because I got a good thing going with the company I'm working for." You don't ever have to leave that company either to start your own business. You don't have to work a single second out in the field to start your own business. Starting your own business is just meeting the requirements of the state and putting that in action. It'll probably take a couple days, maybe a few weeks to get some of the approvals back, and you might get denied. But guess what? The state's going to tell you why they denied you. And if you're savvy enough, you'll call them up and ask what you have to do to meet those requirements. It's that simple. So take that stress off your shoulder of, man, I really want to start up a business, but I don't have all the clientele. No. Dial it back a little bit. First, just meet the minimum requirements that the state requires you to have in order to open up a business. You know, whether or not you want to tell your contractor you're working for, whether or not you want to tell your buddies, you know, you may want to keep it to yourself. I don't know. That's up to you. There are contractors out there that if you do start up your own business, they may let you go because they look at you as a threat. But you don't want their work anyways. You don't start your own business up to take someone else's work. No. You start your own business up because you've met all the requirements and you want to take that further step. You might even work for that company for the remainder of your life and maybe just do work on the side or extra work after hours. But guess what? You are able to do that. Guys that work on the side that are not electrical contractors, that are not licensed and insured, that don't meet the state requirements, they're going out and doing work that, yeah, they make a little bit of money on it, but they could lose whatever license and whatever credibility they have. That's a risk that they're willing to take. Hey, we've all been there. We've all done it. I'm not knocking those who do it. I'm just saying, if you want to start up a business, go do it the right way. You don't have to have a full schedule to go do it. And then when you get going, then you can decide, okay, where do I want to take it from there? But just meet the requirements and get your license going. Get that business, that electrical contractor's license. And then from there, the doors just open up. I mean, here in Colorado, in order to pull permits, you have to be an electrical contractor. In order to, do the job as an electrical contractor, you need to meet all these requirements. Some inspectors are electrical contractors, but they still inspect for the state because the state provides the food on their table, insurance, medical, dental, paid times off. Let me tell you guys something. News alert. When you work for yourself, you don't get paid time off. And if you go full time, you're probably not taking time off for years. For years. And we'll get into that on another episode of when you have a business, where do you go from there? And how do you thrive in this business? And how do you grow your business? So much we have to touch on in the electrical contract realm. But today's episode was just to let you know you can start a business without having the full schedule, without having even a schedule, with working for someone else. It's okay. Just take that step. Meet those requirements from your state. Drop a couple dollars down. Wait a few weeks, whatever it is, to get the results back. And boom, you have that card that says you are a business. Now, what comes with that is obviously you got to pay your taxes. You got to pay your insurance lady at the end of the year. You have to do your profit loss, whatever it is. So make sure you're aware of that as well. But do that leap of faith. Start your own business. Get after it. Know what the minimum requirements. Don't put the stress on your shoulder of trying to hire guys and how am I going to do this and how am I going to do that. We'll talk about that in the next episode. And that episode is going to have great tips on how to make it as an electrical contractor. If you're willing to do that leap of faith. How do I advertise? How do I promote myself? What are the free ways? What are the ways that I might have to put a little bit of money out? But before you even think about all that, guys, get that piece of paper in your hand that says you are an electrical contractor. Right? Do that for yourself. And I'll tell you what, it will pay off because it's going to open up doors for you guys that you never thought was possible. I promise you. So, hey, thank you guys so much. I appreciate this. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. And until next time, stay safe. God bless.
Oh, yeah. Here comes the king. Oh, yeah. You've been listening to the most electrifying podcast on the internet. Kicking it with the king. Jay the Basement King Grundberg. Make sure you subscribe. Oh, yeah. We'll see you next time on Kicking It with the King.